guys, welcome back to UltimaBeauty. Today I am continuing my series of spring 2024 makeup trends. Today's is 90s nostalgia / monochromatic makeup. So, 90s. I was a baby in the 90s, so I don't have too much first-hand knowledge of the makeup. I didn't really pay attention to it back then. But through research, I have discovered that there was a lot of browns worn in makeup, subtle contour, glossy brown lips, a big part of the 90s. It's very monochromatic, so similar shades across all parts of your face. A little bit like latte makeup trend was back last fall. I know everybody was thinking latte makeup, how original, but it's really more similar to just a 90s look. Everything really does come back around again in the fashion and beauty industry. So, keeping with that monochromatic trend, I went with mostly browns because that was very big in the 90s. So I just used this one eyeshadow from Maybelline, very affordable, and I just put it all over my lids, worked it into the crease a little bit, tightly lined the lash line with some black eyeshadow, and then really went into the waterline with an eyeliner pencil, very 90s, some subtle contouring, and then a brown lipstick with some gloss on top. I even added a little bit of the brown eyeshadow to the mixture for a closer color, keep the shades more in sync. In sync, another 90s reference. So this trend's really big for spring. I think it's going to be big through fall because it kind of really gives me more of a fall vibe than spring, but hey, I don't decide the trends. I just report them. So, without any further ado, here is my spring 2024 90s nostalgia monochromatic makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. So, we kick things off with this sort of medium brown eyeshadow from Maybelline. It's a matte eyeshadow, and I just put that all over my eyelid. Just really packing on the shadow and blending a little bit as I go. So just take it to the lash line, up into the crease, really just adding that color because brown is our main shade for this 90s look. So we want to add as much as possible. So just keep building, blending, building, blending, just until we get that nice saturated brown shadow. Then with the blending brush, I just worked it a little more through the crease, kind of softening it just a tad. Nothing too crazy though. So just back and forth buffing, giving it a little bit of a rounded shape. Because we really just want to keep that brown very saturated. Next, I used a black eyeshadow just to tightline the eyes on the upper lash line. I didn't want too much of a liner effect because that's not what this looks about. So like more pressing and stamping into the lash line just to give it some subtle definition. Nothing crazy, no wing. It's really all about the monochromatic, and in this we're going to do brown. Brown is our shade across all of the features. Then I just use a pencil liner, and I really put that into the waterline of my eyes, the lower waterline, because 90s was there's a lot of grunge look going on, but we're kind of shying away from that here. So just run that through the waterline, all the way into the inner corner, for very saturated waterline. It all works. Then we take more of that brown shadow and run it, just sort of smudge it a little bit across my lower lash line. We kind of want that slept in, a little bit grungy 90s look. And then I just sort of blended it a little bit, more smudging with my fingertips. You could use a blending brush, but I think my fingertips work pretty well for this effect. And then another 90s classic, Great Lash. And I just put that mascara on my top and bottom lashes. Just gave it a few coats. Nothing too crazy or fancy. Just trying to get some length and definition. Nice volume. I think this might even come in a brown shade if you wanted to really go all in on brown for this look. And then hit the lower lash line. Just softly. We don't need any spider lashes. To clean up any fallout, I just used my go-to concealer of the moment, which is from Tarte. Then I just blended that in with my fingertips. Sort of worked it down the cheek, a little bit around the nose, and then I used a brush to get a softer, more precise coverage. This really isn't 90s inspired, this is just how I apply concealer. Sticking with the brown, we're going to take a matte contour shade and run that right under the cheekbone. It might be a little harsh when you start with, but since you're going to blend it out, you want to start with a stronger contour shade so you can blend it and get it more subtle. Again, just use my fingertips to blend this out. It's a really nice powder contour from NYX, so it blends really nicely. So we're just applying the color and blending. It takes a little time, but the finished look is definitely worth the time. Then I'm going to use one of the highlighter shades. It's a matte one and an off-white. And just lightly run that through the brow bone. Not to get any real colors, but just for a subtle highlight. Then with a brown lipstick, that's from Revlon. Put that all over my lips. And that's more of a luster kind of finish. We need a glossy finish. So in a minute, we're going to add a clear gloss. This one's from ELF. So I put that right on top of the brown lipstick. And yes, it will turn your clear lipstick applicator, whatever color your lipstick is. I wanted more brown closer to the shadow, so I actually added some of the eyeshadow to our gloss and lipstick and sort of blended it with my fingertips. I actually really liked it. It was more of a custom shade, and it was a lot more like the eyeshadow because it is the eyeshadow. So you just keep blending it so you don't have any like pigments of brown randomly there. And then we have our final product, our finished 90s nostalgia monochromatic makeup tutorial for spring. It's definitely sticking with one shade. You could probably find a lipstick that's even closer to the eyeshadow, but I kind of like what we had here. I think the eyeshadow, the contour, and the lipstick all sort of are drawn together nicely. They're all in the same color family. There's a close-up. And you're all set for spring. And that's a wrap on my 90s nostalgia monochromatic makeup tutorial. I hope you liked it. I hope it gives you some 90s nostalgia inspiration so that you can embrace this spring trend. I don't think the 90s look is going anywhere anytime soon. So even if it's past spring when you see this, I think it could still be helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the blog for more descriptions on the products and the 90s trend in general. Stay tuned for more spring makeup trends, and I will see you next time.